because none of y'all have balls. Apparently this 4'10" nothing woman has bigger balls.
4'10" and 3/4.
Yeah, 4'10" and 3/4 has bigger balls than any of y'all. This is sad. I am very let down right now by you guys, as your wives probably are as well. No, just kidding. That was a jab I didn't mean to do. I don't normally go that low. Yeah, no, I'm not an insult comic. That's just not my thing. It's not what I do. I actually had a guy at the Trails Inn ask me to rip on him. And I was like, I'm not an insult comic. And he's like, no, you can do it. And I'm like, okay, fine. Tell me something about yourself. By the time he got done, all I could do was hug him and tell him, it's gonna be okay, life will get better. And I walked away. I'm too empathetic to be an insult comic. I felt so bad for him. I went home, lit a candle for him. I still think about him today and hope he's okay, you know. He was really lost. I want to start off by thanking Liberty, because she helped sponsor and make all this happen. She's with High Mountain Dispensary out in Hathaway. It's about a 15-minute drive from here. It's extremely good quality. I'm not partaking right now because I can't do that and do comedy. I know a lot of comics can, and I envy them, but I can't. I can't even drink before I do comedy. It's a shit show. But the first time I met Liberty was from her selling ice cream. And I chased her down in her ice cream truck for some ice cream. And now I drive out of town for her week. So either way, Liberty can get you some treats. See, that's what I've been working on. See, it's not that hard. And all I have on my paper is the word liberty. So if I can do it, one of y'all can get drunk enough to get up here and try.
Make sure you get one of those microphones.
I don't normally tell embarrassing stories about myself, but I have 2 back-to-backs that I'm going to share with you to see how it goes over. I kind of have PTSD. I'm not really right in the head, really. And yeah, see, there you go. And some teenagers decide to steal the gnome off my front porch. And I looked out and I watched him pick up my gnome and run away. And I first thought, well, fuck, there goes just one more thing I've lost. And then I thought about it, went, oh fuck, no, not today. Not now. I chased those kids down 4.5 blocks. When I finally caught up with them, I sounded like a 14-year-old street thug. I mean, the vulgarities and profanities. And then what made it worse is I went to go launch at them. And not just with no reason, I launched with a fucking plan of attack. I'm former military, we do nothing without thinking it through. I knew what I was going to do. But luckily Dusty showed up right in time because apparently I can run faster than him with little legs. And he grabbed me by my waist and started to carry me away with me yelling, you don't fucking know me, bitch, but you're about to. I did get my fucking gnome back. They threw it over a fence thinking I'm too dumb to look over a fucking fence. But hey, I do have my gnome, so I'm happy about that. I'm not really proud that I launched. And I actually talked to my therapist about it, and she's like, well, the fact that you acknowledge that what you did is wrong is a good start. And thank God Dusty was there, because I know for a fact you're willing to go to jail today. And I said, yeah, but you'd come speak on my behalf. She's all, absolutely. I don't know what good it would do, but I'd surely let him know you were ready to snap. And then, oh God, I'm only trying this one out because somebody, Emily, and me amiga, Vicky, told me I should do this. Now first let me explain myself, okay? I am from Texas, but I'm from oil, Texas. That's different than cattle. And yes, I took ag in high school, but we learned crop rotations. And yeah, I've been at a rodeo, but you're looking at their horns, not their mouths. So when the beef breeders was here, I learned something I never knew before. Cows have teeth. I honestly thought that the four stomachs did all the work. And I run over to Dusty very excited and childlike. It was like, holy shit, did you know cows have teeth? And I guess he thought that there was no way I could be that stupid. I breathe and walk at the same time. So he's all, what? So I said it slower. Did you know cows have, and he stopped me there and said really loud, you didn't know fucking cows had teeth? And I was like, shh, quiet, I don't want them to know I didn't know. So I was telling Emily and Vicky this story, and then I was like, now here's my question, because Vicky knows cattle. So I was like, I'm gonna pick her brain. I've already made an ass of myself. What more damage can I do the first day I'm meeting this woman? So I said, well, now for dog shows, they brush their teeth before the show. That's why they're white. Those cows' teeth are really white. Do they brush their teeth before the show? And she said, no. I said, well, why are they so white? She said, they don't smoke or drink coffee. Okay, so I know that one works. Is there anybody at this point who's willing to get the courage to come up and try to be a little funny? Nobody? Okay, well, it's gonna be a short night then. I'm gonna take a few minute breaks, that way I can get a drink, and then I'll come back up and do my real bit. If you guys wanna go out and smoke, now would be the time. Step outside, go get more drinks if you want to, even though we have this amazing waitress, Bobby Joe. Please make sure you take care of your waitress staff and tip them well. Same thing at the bar. Make sure you take care of them and tip them well. They get you drunk, so I'm funny. All right, I think everybody's back. So I want to thank everybody again for coming out. There were supposed to be 2 other comics from Billings here, but unfortunately the vid got them. So I asked them not to share and to keep it with them in Billings, so they chose to do so. So hopefully next one we do, they won't get sick and they'll be able to show up here for you guys. But I want to thank you a lot. If you know anybody who wants to do an open mic night, we are looking to try to do this monthly. Like I said earlier, we want to try to bring more things to Miles City and just give you guys some entertainment and enjoyment. My name is Carolyn Lubner. I am a new comic. I'm new here to Miles City. Before I lived here, I spent about 20 years in Colorado. So I thought I knew what winters were. And then I spent a year in Billings, and I thought, well, you know, that's not that bad. I can do Miles City. Oh no. No, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I don't really think I was thinking, now that I realize it. I woke up one morning and asked Alexa what the wind chill was outside, because I don't care about the temperature. I need to know the wind chill. And she said negative 41 degrees. Dusty, Alexa's broken. So I got up and looked at my phone. It's negative 41 degrees. I was like, oh fuck. What did I get myself into? So I'm sitting there on the couch, staring out the window at hoarfrost for the first time. And funny side note, this shows you our relationship. My boyfriend Dusty told me that hoarfrost was spelled the same as like whore, like a prostitute. So I'm all telling my friends in Colorado about the hoarfrost I'm seeing and spelling it out like whore. That went on for 2 months until his mother finally decided to correct me. But it's still beautiful and breathtaking, and I absolutely love it. But then I began to realize my internet freezes. My fucking serotonin froze. I'm already mentally ill. I do online therapy Nothing is more traumatizing than being in a spot where you're like really opening up something raw and dark and their face freezes and the worst what the fuck face ever. It's like their poker face is completely gone. And you're like, do I keep going? I mean, is this that bad? I know it's fucked up, but I mean, look at her face. She looks traumatized. And then you realize, oh shit, she's frozen. Now I have to repeat all that shit again. Every once in a while, she takes time off and she'll tell me. And you know, I'm totally cool with that. With her being my therapist, personally, I believe she should get 2 weeks paid vacation to wherever the fuck she wants to go. And not just like a vacation, like a real one where your family doesn't go with you and you're all alone. I really support that for her. As I mentioned before, I'm from Texas. I'm from a small town called Humble. It's spelled Humble, but there's nobody humble in Texas. So it's pronounced Humble. My family came here in 1734 from Germany. And while looking through our family book, I realized I actually think we were Nazis before there were Nazis. And don't judge me too much, because my family they weren't just racist against one thing. Other white people weren't even good enough for us. We still inbreed to this day. But according to the family book, it's okay, because there's no visible side effects till today. It also does point out that nobody who makes it to maturity isn't documented. So I wonder, does that really count if we don't document it, that they don't make it there? My mom was the ultimate black sheep of the family. Not only did she marry outside of the family, but she married a Jew. Now I know I was called dirty blood growing up. That was long before Harry Potter, so nowadays young people are like, dirty blood, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Way before Harry Potter. I did carry on one family tradition though. I joined the Navy. And believe it or not, I had to have a height waiver, because I'm only 4'10" and 3/4 inches. And in the military, you have to be 5'2". So if you're looking up here thinking I'm sexy because I'm child sized, you don't want my number, you need a therapist. You might be a pedophile. One of my favorite things about the military, especially boot camp, was the showers. I mean, think about it. That's 86 women. That's 172 titties, just in case you needed the math. I'm boob height. I can't look up. That's waterboarding. I can't look down. That's reverse waterboarding. So I am stuck for 6 to 8 weeks at nothing. I was the first one in, last one out. Hygiene is important in the military. No, seriously, my favorite were acronyms. Growing up military, I grew up with them, I love them. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. CYA, cover your ass. And my favorite, that gets me in the most trouble, Dusty's mom hates this one. She always pauses it and stops it here. Cunt. Can't understand normal thinking. So women, don't get too upset. Before you get upset and worked up and get mad, if you can understand normal thinking, you're not a cunt. It's a non-binary term. Getting worked up in public, however, really does look suspicious. I do wish we could rephrase pull out or quit patrol. That makes me feel like everybody left that situation so dissatisfied. For once, can we find a term where it sounds like we all left feeling like, at least I got mine. I left satisfied. I'm okay with this relationship ending. I was on a ship. I loved being out to sea. I fully believe women belong on ships. Where we do not belong are submarines. There's no way we can go underwater for 6 months without some girl getting pregnant. We couldn't even go to Hawaii without a girl getting knocked up. You can't put all women underneath a sub. We'll kill each other. The only ones that are gonna come back up are the ones in menopause. And that's just because they're gonna sit back and watch the other girls kill each other, doing shots, talking. Should we break up the fight?
Nope.
Nah, fuck it, they'll learn. We did. I learned as I'm getting older that we go through bleeding phases where we bleed. And then when that stops, you sweat to death. So we fucking sweat for a couple of years.
Just a couple.
Yeah, I know. I'm being polite. You sweat your balls off for 10 years.
There you go.
And then you freeze to death till you die. So basically, we get to die slowly from the inside. You don't have that problem, it's your perk. I do have a...
The hell we don't, we're married to it.
I know, but you can leave it, we can't. I woke up one night in the middle of the night so drenched in titty sweat, and I didn't know Dusty had gotten up and was walking back into the room, and I had literally scooped up just a handful of titty sweat and flung it, and I hit him. He told me he didn't know whether or not to be aroused or offended. He was very confused. So we just went back to bed. So that's reality for us.
Yep.
I have a 25-year-old son. He did move out the door quite easily. He was out the door at 19. He wanted to be out the door at 18, but I begged him, stay home 1 year. See what it's like to have money, because once you're out the door, you're broke for the rest of your fucking life. So he stayed home for 1 year and then moved out immediately. And lost my thought. I had a lot of parents and moms calling me going, how the hell did you get your kid out? Mine's still in the basement playing Call of Duty, drinking White Claw. I was like, simple. I beat him when he was little. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't really. I was just very involved in his life. Not like a butt plugging up his ass or anything. Speaking of butt plugs, have you guys seen these butt plugs that light up? I think they would be amazing for night jogging and night walking, simply for safety reasons only. It doesn't have to be sexual. That's your option. I'm not here to tell you how to feel about things. But no, I volunteered a lot in his kindergarten class, and that's when I realized there's one very important thing missing off that supply list. Booze. And I'm sure after COVID, a lot of parents are starting to agree with me. And I think the amount of booze you bring should depend on your kids' scores. And I don't mean like grades like A, B plus, I mean like their behavior scores. Because even that A plus students sometimes send them home wanting to drink. So I really think we need to add that on there for them. I did the den leader thing. I did Cub Scouts.
I did too.
See, it's amazing, isn't it? I did it all the way up until another mother found out I used to be a stripper. I know. And then all of a sudden I was immoral and shouldn't be near little boys. I was like, fuck, I was a stripper, not a priest. The mom who busted me got caught stealing from the den. Literally, like felony amount stealing, they prosecuted her and everything. And all I could think is, at least if I would have left with money, I would have earned mine. I was always that sneaky mom trying to eavesdrop, and I learned by snacks. You can learn a lot, so I'm always coming in with brownies and milk and the whatnot. And it worked really well. I was pretty in tune to what was going on in their lives, and I was happy about it. Until one video. 2 girls, 1 cup. For those of you who don't know what that video is, don't look it up. Don't go seek the image. Just know that it fucked me up I couldn't leave. I had spent years developing a reputation with these little assholes. If I would have walked out, I would have ruined it. I had to watch that video from beginning to fucking end. It's a good thing I saw a donkey show in the Navy, because that was way worse. Join the Navy, see the world, or at least the donkey show. I did get revenge though. How many of you guys here know who Tosh Point0 is? Well, okay, I got a couple at least. He's a comic, and he's a little abrasive. Well, when Gaddafi, who was a ruler in the Middle East, was captured, and his people were shoving knives up his ass when they killed him. Well, Tosh Point0 took this and made it a bit and went around his office Gaddafiing his staff when they bent over. My son and I watch this moot show together every week. It's our thing. So one day when all those same boys who made me watch Two Girls, One Cup was over there, and my son just happened to bend over in front of me thinking that I'm the funny fucker I am, I Gaddafi'd his ass. He is still mad at me to this day. He knows I do the bit, and I told him, he goes, that's fucked up. I go, why? That I do the bit? He goes, no, it's fucked up, you did it. And as they move out, I realize your relationship does change. At least for me, I changed drastically. I went from that mom who got some communication to like the friend. You know, the one you can hang up on when they're annoying you. So with that came something I never thought would happen. It's a couple of weeks after his 21st birthday. I get a phone call about 2 a.m. and he's drunk. I'm getting a drunk phone call at 2 a.m. from my son. This has now become part of my life. It happens. I've learned to enjoy them. They're fun. But he calls me going, Mom, you are the best, smartest woman ever. I was like, well, I know, but what made you catch on? He said, well, we went to a titty bar tonight. I was like, well, I am so proud of you. I told all the girls, you used to be a dancer. Now I know where this is going. He just created a safe environment for a bunch of girls who were damaged. He said, Mom, I was surrounded by women all night long. And Mom, I left with real names and phone numbers. We called to make sure. Look, everybody, it's Liberty from High Mountain.
What? Was I supposed to say that first?
I'm gonna let her throw out her t-shirts for a moment. All I could think when I got done off that phone call was, you're welcome, my son. And then I realized afterwards, wait, how damaging could that phone call have possibly been on my kid? And then I realized, oh wait, no, the damage has already been done, so it's probably okay. About 1 year into COVID, I ended up having to leave my ex-husband after a 20 years of marriage. Oh, as a disclaimer, I like to call COVID the vid. I think COVID's too long. I think vid is much easier. So if you ever hear me say vid, I'm talking about COVID. I left him about a year into COVID. We were married 20 years. Now this is where I do like to give a little bit of a disclaimer, because like I said, I'm not an insult comic. I don't want to rip on my ex-husband. There's nothing funny about that shit. But a lot of the time when women can't climax, it's because we're not comfortable. We don't feel safe. For whatever reason it is. It isn't always you guys. Well, most of the time it is you guys. But sometimes we just don't feel comfortable in our own skin, so we can't really orgasm very well. So put a pin in that disclaimer for a little bit later. Dating in menopause, I learned a lot. The first thing I learned is being menopausal makes you desirable. Because for some reason, guys think that because you can't get pregnant, that means you can't get STDs. And they don't think they have to use a condom. So I find myself having to explain to 35-year-old men that menstruation has nothing to do with STDs. I also got my very first dick pic, which a lot of girls are highly offended by these. But at my age, I was very excited. I'm like 47 years old and I just got my first dick pic. I was so Twitter-pated. But then all I could do is focus on the fact that all the ones that he sent me are in the bathroom and over the toilet. So guys, can you help me understand why dick pics have to be in the bathroom over a toilet? And then if your thumb is bigger than your dick, does it still count as a dick pic?
No, ma'am.
Y'all might want to think about that before you're sending these pictures. When you're like this and you're like, damn, my dick is bigger, you should probably go, no, I'm not going to send that one. I also learned that guys are getting smarter. A lot of younger guys are putting period tracker apps in their phones. They're tracking our menstrual cycle.
What?
Yes, this way they know when the crazy's coming. They know when we want chocolate. They know when we want the salt. They know when to shut the fuck up and run. They are learning to track our fucking crazy. But the key about menopause, you can't track my crazy.
He's living through
Daily.
right now.
They're like, what triggers it? I don't know. I open my fucking eyes.
Yeah, I don't like you this morning, sir.
You breathe too loud. I can hear you sweating all the way over there. Okay, remember that pin I had you put? Go ahead and pull that pin out. Did you guys know that women can have multiple orgasms?
Yeah.
And of different kind? I didn't. I always thought it took 30 minutes and a whole lot of fucking focus. I mean, like, close your eyes, be quiet, give myself that inner pep talk of like, you've got this. You can do this. Just relax. You want it as much as he does. Have faith in him. You've got this, girl. And then you might get lucky to get like this little thing, and you're like, oh yay, okay, that was it. Well, when Dusty and I started dating and we sat down to have that very important what's okay with you, what's okay with me talk, I thought I should let him know I have difficulty climaxing. It takes like 30 minutes and a whole lot of fucking focus. He is a very humble man. All he did was chuckle and say, thank you for the knowledge. 5 minutes. And I didn't even have any clothes off. And believe me, there was no fucking focus required. I didn't even know what the fuck I was at some points. I found myself yelling what the fuck and why so many times. And I know it was out loud because at one point he stopped and said, I don't know why, but are you okay? I said yes, and he continued on because he believes in serving his vets and he is a very supportive man. I still thank him to this day. The other thing I learned, and this is a powerful thing I learned, all women can squirt. I know, I hear the silence, I know you don't believe it.
Nope, I'm telling her to shut it.
I didn't believe it, I thought it was a myth. I thought in the porns they were like peeing or something, or there's some bag that they were hitting. I was like, that's not fucking possible. And then I learned the power of the squirt.
They
Holy
just gotta
shit.
find the button.
The most amazing part is leaving him in your wet spot. It really doesn't get better than that. I also learned that when you're comfortable with somebody, sex can be fun and playful and actually humorous, where you can crack jokes and have a very good time with the whole matter. Like one time, I left Dusty in his wet spot, in my wet spot, as I went to go have my victory cigarette. And as I was coming back inside, I hear, "Jonesy, no, stop it." Jonesy's my cat. So I come running in the room and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" He said, "Jonesy was gonna lick my balls." Okay, so let's back this up a minute. At what point, when the cat was approaching your nutsack, did you say to yourself, "Let's see where this goes"?
How far?
About mid-thigh. I said, "So at what point were you like, 'No, I draw the line'?" He said, "I thought her tongue would be rough." So that's my time. Thank you again for coming out. I appreciate you putting up with my lack of voice. The next time I will have more of an audible voice, I promise. Thank you again so much for coming out. Don't forget to take care of your waitresses. We have tip bucks laying around. If you think I'm funny, show me some money. If you want to help me be a lady, send me to charm school, because Lord knows I fucking need it. And once again, thank you for your time, guys. You have a beautiful night. Drive safe. Now I can drink.
Is Liberty gonna go up and do some comedy?
And partake.
Is Liberty gonna go up and do some comedy?
The only joke I know is my husband.
Funny story.
That's probably a pretty good joke, so come on now.
I do have a YouTube page. It's called Dusty Rose 7574. And on there, there's a little bit. It's called Too Drunk, Too High. If you watch that, you will understand why I must be sober up here.